looking at some other adjustments that are being made because of injuries, the Phillies have been reported that they're going to be calling up Seth Johnson. So let's head down on the farm really quickly and talk through some quick updates, because Seth Johnson, who we saw the Phillies pick up in the trade at the trade deadline with the Baltimore Orioles, they picked up Seth Johnson. They picked up Moisés Chace. Both have been doing really well. Seth Johnson specifically has been on the rise. 25 years old, a former first-round pick, and so far this season he's had a 3.52 ERA across his starts with AA Reading. He was then promoted to AAA Lehigh Valley, and then with AAA since then, he's been fantastic. He was dominant in 3 outings with a .56 ERA, and overall in his time between Baltimore and now Philly, he's had a 2.33 ERA in his 88 2/3 innings pitched. And Johnson is somebody that, as a right-handed pitcher, is going to get the nod this Sunday to be the starter. Hey, why not? He's someone that they brought in with high expectations. And with the Phillies looking to still round out that fifth starter, Tyler Phillips, of course, has been sent down. Has not been good as a fifth starter. I don't mind that Seth gets the opportunity to see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm excited for this guy. I think that the 2 players you've acquired for Gregory Soto, early returns are really strong. Between Seth Johnson now making his major league debut, we talked about this at the trade deadline, that this guy could be a potential September call-up type of guy. We talked about it more along the lines of an injury issue. It turns out it's a fifth starter issue. Tyler Phillips clearly doesn't have it. Colby Allard's not able to return until the 10th. I'm really excited for what this guy can do. And then you talk about Moisés Chace, who we'll talk about in a minute. The early returns for these 2 guys are really positive. Johnson is a little bit older. He's 25, so it's not like he's, going to be, worried about the moment. Obviously you're making your MLB debut. It's nerve-wracking and whatnot. But he's been around a little bit longer. Good fastball, good slider, 4-pitch pitcher. Control is pretty strong. It's taken him a little bit longer than I think he would have liked to make his major league debut. But he's going to do it at 25 against a team that I think this is a favorable matchup for a young kid making a debut. I'm really excited to see what Seth Johnson is going to be able to do on Sunday, because I think that they have long-term plans for this guy, and I don't think they include making the major league roster out of camp next year, but I think they do include having him as a significant depth piece for the rotation moving forward.
Yeah. Did the Phillies get a steal with Seth Johnson and Moisés Chace? I know you guys, Lawrence, Steven Garrison, you're talking about in the chat. We'll see this Sunday. Of course, we do know if Johnson does not pan out well in his debut and his major league debut, that they do have Colby Allard, who will be eligible to return for that next start. September 10th, he's eligible. So you have options there. It's either you can continue to ride with Seth Johnson, or you can always call Colby Allard to be back in that fifth starting position. So even that's encouraging. Moisés Chace, another one, he was named Eastern League Pitcher of the Week. He struck out a career high 13 in a win. Chace has also been really impressive so far, and he's had, as in addition to that, 13 strikeouts, was able to go 6 innings. He's been fantastic. He had a 10 strikeout performance as well. So Chace has been another one that's been really good to watch, because he just continues, it seems like, to improve and be nearly flawless, is what reports are saying. He's retired in one game. He retired 18 of 19 hitters pitched, including the last 16 in a row. And out of those 19 hitters, 13 were strikeouts, 72% of his outs via strikeouts, 19 swings and misses. He's been stellar. He's been fantastic. 21 years old and is 2-0 with a 1.72 ERA in his 3 starts in 15 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 7 hits, walked 5, and struck out 29. His whip, a .77, and his opponents are batting just 1.137 against him. He's also been a huge bright spot, which led him to Eastern Player of the Week.
Yeah, nearly 2 strikeouts per inning pitched, right? You talk about 29 strikeouts over the course of 3 games, which is, he's pitched 15 2/3 innings with 29 strikeouts, is just about unbelievable. And what's even kind of funnier is he's made 3 appearances or 3 starts in Reading, and his numbers in Reading in Double-A were actually better than his numbers were in his 2 appearances in High A in Jersey Shore. He had a 4.1 ERA across 2 starts, small sample size, of course, but he gave up 4 runs over 8 2/3 innings and had a 1-0, basically a 1-0 flat whip. He was striking out a lot of guys still, 13 strikeouts in 8 innings. But he moves up to Double A in his 3 starts so far. He's giving up less earned runs, one less earned run in 15 2/3 innings pitched than he did in Double A in 8 2/3. Really good stuff. Electric fastball. Strikeout numbers are clearly there. This could be one of those guys that's a quick riser through the ranks of the farm system. With Seth Johnson, not entirely stunned that Baltimore was willing to move on from him, an older prospect, kind of maybe somebody that maybe profiles as a quad A type of player. Chace was a little bit interesting for me to see that they were willing to move on from a guy that, especially who he was given, who they got in or gave up in return, or who Baltimore got in return in Gregory Soto, a guy with good stuff, but, rough command, struggled at times at points this year, wanted a larger role, got a larger role, stunk in the larger role. Kind of interesting to me that Baltimore was willing to make that move. Johnson made sense. Chace was a little more questionable in that regard.
Yeah, 2 exciting acquisitions we can keep an eye on. And for the Phillies, it feels like they may have won that trade, and hopefully they can win again tonight. This weekend's a great 4-game series, and a good chance to see Johnson close that out on Sunday. And so for all of our friends tuning in, especially our diehards on Roku, we appreciate you guys for tuning in to another edition of PHLY Phillies. As we're talking through the pitching matchup and all that we're looking forward to this weekend, it should be a great one. Now, I do want to be very clear, in addition to the guys that the Phillies have picked up, they've also had some other guys that have been extremely talented in the pipeline. Yes, we can talk about Moisés Chace and Seth Johnson, but also there have been some others. And we got to highlight Aiden Miller as well, because he's been fantastic in how he's been looking for the Phillies. Now, the Phillies overall have been having some positive prospects making moves. Aiden Miller is one of them. You want to talk about power? He has got it, and that much more. We, of course, had a chance to speak with him during spring training. And now I got it was cute because I had a chance, as I was reading Alex Coffey talking her piece about Aiden Miller, talking about his buddy George Klassen. He does say he misses him and how they text every day, and it's tough to watch their games, but they do keep in touch with like box scores and everything. But if you look at the box scores for Aiden Miller, he had an 0 for 5 performance in the final game of August. But in September, he's been lights out. He's been the number 28 prospects for Major League Baseball for a reason. Had a career 5 knocks for High A Jersey Shore on Sunday. They did lose that game 6-2. But Miller also was then promoted to Double A Reading, and he's recorded 41 hits in 39 games for Single A Clearwater, which helped him move up. And then also for Miller, his numbers have been impressive, hitting .299 with a .906 OPS in August, and then a 258, 353, 444 in 58 games to kick off the start of September. And so Aiden Miller, who gives you some power, he has 19 runs, 52 total bases, 3 triples, 29 hits. He gives you a little bit of everything. His slugging percentage, a .536. His OPS, a .906. He was 4th in RBIs and 5th in doubles across the league. So he's been someone that we've been keeping an eye on, just 20 years old and a first-round pick by the Phillies back in 2023, and has been someone that we talk about for the future of the Phillies as could be a really great piece. He's played third base. He's played shortstop. He's got versatility, but he's also got power.
Yeah, we've talked about this kid basically every time we've done it down on the Farm Report, but rightfully so. Now, like you said, he's inside the top 30 across Major League Baseball, and I'm just looking at some of the guys that are ahead of him. There's probably, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 guys that I would expect within the next calendar year or less to graduate out of the prospect list. Junior Caminero, Dylan Cruz are the top 2. They're both in Major League Baseball now. They're going to get out soon. Kobe Mayo's in the top 10. He's the same way. Brooks Lee with the Twins. Jacob Wilson with the A's. Jason Dominguez, if the Yankees ever decide to get their act together and just promote the kid because he deserves it. But Aiden Miller very likely could be a top 20 prospect by the time the season starts next year. The likelihood, my guess would be, he is going to finish the year in Double A. Not much time left in Double A. He's going to finish the year yet there. I would expect him to get a spring training invite to get some opportunities with the big club in spring training. My guess would be he probably starts the year again in Double A just to get a couple more at bats. But I would think if he If he forces the Phillies' hand out of spring training, there is, it's not out the realm of possibility that he's with Lehigh Valley very, very quickly next year. He's going to be 21 next year. He's risen the ranks really quickly. He's answered the bell every single time. He's moved up through the ranks. There's no doubt in my mind that I see him with Lehigh Valley at the end of by the end of next year, and he's probably a Philly in sometime in 2025.